Good morning, students. So today we are starting our half yearly syllabus, chapter 5, verbs. So you all know verbs. Verbs are called the action words. So in this table, the base form, the simple past form and past participle are given, which is nothing but the V1 form, V2 and the V3 form of the verbs. The first verb is draw. So in past tense we say it is drew, and past participle drawn. Choose, chose, chosen. Freeze, froze, frozen. Write, wrote, written. Sing, sang, sung. Begin, began and begun. So these are the verb forms V1, V2 and V3. Now about verbs, you know the main verb when the subject is the third person singular, like he, she or it, we add an S to the verb. Mother bakes on Sunday. Here mother is a singular third person, she. She bakes on Sundays. Paras plays hockey. Bakes and plays tell us what a subject does. Verbs tell us what a person, a thing or an animal does. So what does the verb tells? It tells us what action the subject is doing. The statue was built by Preetham. Anita fed the baby. So here built is a verb. It's explaining what was built by Preetham. Or here fed, it tells what the subject has done to the baby, what work it is doing to the baby. Built and fed tell us what is done to a person, an animal or a thing. Mohit is short. The house seems occupied. Is and seems tell us the state of being of nouns or pronouns. Verbs tell us the state of being of a person, an animal or a thing. Here it's not explaining any action, is and seems. It's just telling us the state of being or expression. If I say the boy is happy, the boy is not doing any action. We are just explaining or we are just expressing how he is feeling. Okay, so these are also verbs, but they are called the state of being. They are not doing any action. Here in all these you can see the action is being take place. So the action is baking is an action, playing is an action, to build is an action. It's in past tense. Built is in past tense. Fed means to feed the baby. Fed is in past tense. All these are actions done here. But here Mohit is short. We are explaining or we are expressing how tall or how short this person is. In the same way, this house seems occupied. Also we are saying the house is completely occupied by some people. There is no action here. So such kind of verbs we call them as the state of being. Now there are two types of words, transitive and intransitive verbs. Transit. Transit means to transfer the action to an object or a person. Intransitive means the action is not being transferred or there is no object to receive the action. Now let us look at the transitive verbs. The doctor drove a car to the clinic. So here the subject is the doctor. He drove. It's a verb. We don't know what verb it is. It's a verb. He drove what? So there's an object here, a car. So a car is the object. So this driving or the action is being done on the object. So this type of verbs we call it as transitive verbs. That means there is a receiver at the other end. Subject is doing an action of driving and this driving is received by the car. Rian kept an apple in the box. Here Rian again is a subject. Kept is the verb in the past tense. Kept. He kept something, an object. What is the object? An apple. So here apple is the object. So we call the verb kept as an transitive verb. So remember, transitive verb means The doer, the subject is doing the action and the action is being transferred to the object. In these sentences, the verbs show an action that passes from the doer to the receiver. They are called transitive verbs. In each of these sentences, the verb is followed by a noun or a pronoun. The words car and apple act as sub-objects of the verb. So, in these two sentences, we can see the verb is followed by a noun here. Car and an apple is a noun, the noun or a pronoun. Transitive verbs always have an object that is affected by the action of the verb in a sentence. Now coming to intransitive verbs. What are intransitive verbs? There is no receiver or there is no object in the sentence. Tia worked till the morning. So here working, is it received by anybody else here? Is there any object? No. So here the verb worked is the intransitive verb. The man ran away. Here ran is the verb. So what kind of verb it is? The man ran away. We are just telling the movement of the man. But it's not received. There is no object here to receive this action. So such kind of verbs we call them as the intransitive verbs. So that is the difference. And whenever you want to find out if the verb is transitive or intransitive, for transitive verbs, you can ask the questions of like what or whom after the verb to find if it has an object or not. Okay, now let's move to the exercise here. Underline the verbs and state whether they are transitive or intransitive verbs. Jalaj lives a happy life, a very peaceful life. So here lives is the verb. We have to even underline the verbs. Okay. Now this verb is transitive or not? So we can see there is no object here. So we are just explaining the state of being. How happy Jalaj is living. Okay, so lives here is an intransitive verb because it has no object. We should not shout loudly. Here shout is the verb and loudly is an adverb. So there is no object to receive. So it is an intransitive verb. The birds are sitting on the trees. Here sitting is the main verb. Are is the helping verb. So sitting is the main verb. Sitting where it has an object to sit. Yes, the trees. So here trees is the direct object and we call sitting as the transitive verb. Shalu has gone back to the farm. Here gone is the verb in past tense. Okay. Now go, went, gone. Gone is in the V3 form, the past participle. Shalu has gone back to the farm. So there is no receiving here, there is no object here. So gone is the intransitive verb. We should not overlook the voice of wisdom. Again, overlook, it's just an expression, a state of being. Overlook means not to dig too much into. Okay? Not to overthink about what happened. So, should not overlook. Again, overlook has no object to receive. So, it is an intransitive verb. Father suddenly stopped the car. Now, father stopped. Here, suddenly is an adverb. Stopped is the verb. So, stopped. What is the action received here? Who is receiving this action? The car. So, stopped has an object, the car. So, it is a transitive verb. She sang well but failed to win the first prize in the competition. So, here you can notice there are two verbs here. First verb is sang. She sang well. So, there is no object here. So, sang is the intransitive verb and failed. She failed what? To receive the first prize. So, we have an object here. She failed to get that prize. So, here failed is a transitive verb. You can even ask the questions of what and whom. She sang what? She sang whom? There is no answer here. So, sang is the intransitive verb. Here failed. She failed what? She failed what? To win the first prize. So, we are getting an answer. So, here failed is the transitive verb. All his friends deserted him when he needed them the most. Deserted means avoided him. Nobody was talking to that boy. So all his friends deserted him. Is there any action received here? So deserted him. Him is what here? Deserted, ask the questions of what and whom. Deserted what? You're not getting the answer. Deserted whom? It is him. So it is deserted is the transitive verb. Do you know anyone who can help us out? Anyone who can help. Help is the main verb here. Help whom? Us. Us is the object here. So the action of helping is being received by this us. So here help is a transitive verb. We must attend Parag's birthday party. We must attend, here attend is the verb. Attend what or whom? You're not getting the answer. So it is an intransitive verb.